Hey everyone, Creature Run Guy here, coming at you with kind of an update, kind of a review. I don't know what I'll call it right now, but so yeah, I'm living in a duplex now. Yippee freaking yay! But it's a house, kind of like have a house, and it works, I guess. Just creepy neighbors. But yeah, so I've got a review actually right now. A little bit earlier than I thought I would, because as it turns out, something of Godzilla, some sort of a Godzilla-related thing, did actually survive the tornado, and that's actually basically my first Godzilla figures ever. I'm not sure what they are, but they're these little guys right here. I'm not sure. I tried looking up what they were. I'm sorry, I can't tell you what they are. I have a feeling there's some sort of candy toys. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but for me, I got them when I was like 3, and from a place called Paper Warehouse that was here in town and then closed down for a while. They were just this fishbowl bucket sort of thing. You could just grab them. They're like a cent each or something like that. It was pretty cool. I loved them. They were my favorite things. I used to have a whole bunch more than just this now, but over the years they just kind of, petered away. And I think I had some Ultraman ones about the same size as well, that were glow in the dark. If any of you guys can tell me what these are, I would love to know, because I have no idea. I mean, I've looked far and wide and I have no idea. On some of them you can actually make out the word Bandai on the back, just kind of like right there. But I'm not sure if Bandai made these. I don't know. But anyway, so let's take a closer look at these little guys, and that'll be a cheapskate review sort of thing. But I think there is a real review coming up next. Well, not next, but sooner than later. So bear with me, and let's take a look at these little candy toy things. Okay, so let's start off with this little guy first. This is a 90s version of Godzilla, I guess. This was actually like my least favorite one when I was a kid, because I had another Godzilla that was more like the Showa version. For some reason, I didn't really like this guy that much. I guess it's because he's got this tail that curls up and makes him look like he's got a humongous rear end. But I actually had 2 of these and I gave one to my friend. I was like, here, yeah, you'll like this. This will be good for you. It's just not me. But, yeah, so I guess as far as I can tell, it's a 90s version of Godzilla. But maybe it's a Showa version. I don't know. I always thought of it as the 90s one, but I could be wrong once again. You can see his belly. It says China, and I don't see anything that says Bandai or anything else. But he's a nice little guy. He's kind of hard. Nice brown color. Looks like something that my dog would have liked to eat. But yeah, so there's little hasty Godzilla, I guess. But like I said, if you guys know better, because I have no idea what these things really are, yeah, you go ahead and tell me, but that's what I'm going to call them for now. So, moving on to the next guy, which, as for this one, actually I liked him a lot, because he was about the same size, and it just looked exactly like, almost exactly like my other Godzilla I used to have, and that was Mechagodzilla. I had another Godzilla that was in the exact same pose, only it was actually Godzilla, and so they looked really cool together. But yeah, this guy's all black, and you can actually kind of make out a fair bit of detail in there. Like if you take a look at the face, if I can just get a zoom in there, if you can take a look at the face, you can see where his eye would be. And then you got a face, and I think you can even make out some nose lasers or whatever they were. And then you got little tiny itty bitty bolts around there. I mean, I am surprised how much you can actually see on this guy. But then you got the mold flaps on there where he was taken out of the factory. But that's okay. But yeah, this guy looks pretty cool. He's probably one of my favorite villains that I had. And he was a pretty neat little guy. So yeah, that's about it for Mechagodzilla. Now, it'd only be fair to follow him up with Titanosaurus. He was a bit taller, and I never really liked this guy much because he just was kind of plain looking. I mean, he's like, oh, he's got white, and oh, he's got red. That's about it. And I always hated how he looks like such a sleaze because he's got his hands up like he's, trying to trying to make everyone stop beating him up or something like that, or trying to calm everybody down because he, you know, took the last piece of cake or something. I always hated him. But, yeah, that's just the way I thought of him anyway. But on this guy as well, you can also see these neat little wart scales on there, I guess. And this tumor, or whatever that is, I think it's on the real Titanosaurus, or real, you know, it's on the other, the bigger one. Anyway, yeah. And he's got the ribs or ribbing texture on his stomach and neck, you know, it does pretty well actually. He's got the fin, yeah, pretty cool. I don't like the tail though, because it just kind of curls up and it looks like he had an accident on the carpet. But, yeah. Now, going away for a bit from the villains, this is King Caesar. At the time, I didn't know really who King Caesar was when I got this, because it was a while before I actually saw that movie. So I called him Gorgo, which, if you may know, that was a British film made in the later 50s or early 60s, around that time. Kind of a you know, ripping off Godzilla, but I don't know why I called him that, because it obviously is not him, but I like to think it was. But yeah, it's quite obviously King Caesar. It's got the tail, the puffy tail, and the dog ears, and the scales on his stomach and knees here, and that really surprised, befuddled look that he always seems to have on his face. And you can see there's a bit of rubbing on there. It's not snot. It's just the black paint rubbing off. I'm surprised this lasted this long, to tell you the truth. But yeah, and I guess yeah, he looked great with my other Godzilla I used to have, which let me be he's like my favorite one out of the bunch. But with this one, he just looks a bit tall. So oh, and here's Mechagodzilla. Yeah, they look about right, I guess. So yeah, there's King Caesar. And now let's go on with King Ghidorah. And man, I love this guy. I think I had two at one point, just because I liked him so much. And articulation on this guy is actually pretty good. You can see he kind of move his heads on each individual head, and kind of flap his wings a bit, which is quite unexpected for wings, but you can actually move them a bit. Yeah, so I like this guy. He was one of my more favorite villains I had, and he actually looks pretty cool from both sides. Just like you can tell it's Ghidorah for sure. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. It just looks as Ghidorah right there. That's him. And then once again, the tail kind of bothers me because it just doesn't look good, and it's not long, but you can kind of tell how it's split down the middle, sort of. But I don't know. But yeah, that's him, and there's the scales and everything. So yeah. Moving on now, we see Megalon, and actually, this isn't the only Megalon I had. Actually, yeah, I got two, because Megalon was like absolutely my, hands down, my favorite villain when I was a kid, and still is kind of. But I just absolutely loved him, and I wanted to make sure I would never lose it, so I got two just in case. And actually, even on these two, you can see that there's a variation in color. Like this one's got kind of a pink chest, and this one's got kind of red. And on the back, you see a bit more pink. Then this one's got a bit more red. So I didn't like this one quite so much, but he was back at one. And now on this one, especially, you can make out not only China down there on her crotch, but on the back you can see just barely make out the word Bandai. I think. Then on this one, I think it might be a little bit easier to see, but yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, Bandai. So either it's a bootleg or something, or I don't know. I really don't know what they were doing being sold in a paper warehouse in Oklahoma, but I don't know. Like I said, if you guys know, if you've ever even seen anything like this before, then please do tell me, because I'm dying to know. But yeah, it's pretty good detail. You got the little bug mouth on there, and you got the horn thing, and these two horn things on his arms, and the scales. And actually, look, it's a fairly good. It's a very good likeness on this Megalon here, or both of them. Looks a lot like him. So yeah, I'd say these were probably my favorite, and still just about are my favorite bad guys. But I guess for some reason, I have absolutely no idea why, but my favorite out of all these I ever had is Baragon. And maybe because of its color, because I loved orange and green, especially together. And I did have sort of an obsession with Baragon when I was younger. And I think it's because I didn't really know what he looked like, because I never got to see him in any of the movies. So I guess that's maybe one reason that I got drawn to him. I don't really have such an obsession with him anymore, but I do have a soft spot for him, let's say that, because I just loved him when I was a kid, and I still kind of do. And this was definitely my favorite of the little guys. I had another one that was, believe it or not, hard plastic, and not this rubber material. I got him from the same place, only just a little bit later, but it was hard plastic and shiny. Now, I lost that one, but I have no idea what that was, because I've never heard of anything like that. But, yeah. And once again, this guy looked great with my other Godzilla I had at one point. You know, I'm talking about him so much, I should show you to him sometime, if I ever find him again. But, yeah. And, you know, you can see the paint's kind of coming off on his face there, but you can see the textured stomach there, and the ribbed back there, and the nice big puppy ears, and the tail, which looks about like the same as the others, so I'll just not mention that. But yeah, you can kind of move his head a little bit. That's the benefit of being rubber. But yeah, so that's about it for Baragon, and that's all I have now. I used to have a few others that I'm not really sure where they all went, but I had a cute few Ultraman monsters, which at the time, of course, I had no idea what Ultraman was, but yeah, so I just called him, like, I think I had King, and I called him Gigan, and I had a green one that has a horn and kind of looks like Baragon, only it's Ultraman monster, and I called him Varan. And, you know, they were glow in the dark, and they were weird. And I had Gyrus, this thing called Gyrus. I had him, and I didn't really know what to call him, so I just kind of kept him around. And then I had others. I think I actually had a Gamera as well, which was odd. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I have left now, anyway, and I'll be sure to hang on to them, because they were indeed my first Godzilla figures ever. And, amazingly, despite their small size, I actually still have them. Well, and despite the tornado, I still have them. So that's pretty amazing right there. But, yeah, so that's the little Godzilla candy toys. So like I said, if you guys can tell me what these things were, these little fellows were, please do, because I am dying to know. I've always wanted to know what these were, because when I was younger, I wanted to know what they were and why they weren't sold in any other stores like Walmart or Dollar General or anything, because I always wanted to go back and get some more, even if I had duplicates. Because for some reason it seems like each individual one was unique, and they all looked different, because maybe they were hand-painted or something, I don't know. But, like I said, if you guys know what these things are, I'm pretty sure they're candy toys, and I'm pretty sure they're made by Bandai. So I looked on ClubTokyo.com. They got a bunch of stuff like that, and I couldn't find these on there. Maybe you guys could look and find. I just looked under small candy toys. Maybe they're under some other heading, but that's what I looked under. So yeah, that's basically it. I'll be hopefully having another review as soon as it comes in the mail, and on a long road to another collection again. Let's hope this one doesn't get blown away. Here's hoping. So, I'm Creature Hunt Guy. These are a bunch of little candy toys. I don't know what they are. And I guess I'll be seeing you later. Stay tuned.